Hello, disc golf fans, and welcome back to round one back nine coverage of the MVP Open at Maple Hill. 2022 has almost come to an end, Paul. We've got the second playoff event and then the Pro Tour Championships remaining for Jomez coverage. And that's going to conclude our season.
Can't believe it's coming up so soon, but we do have 9 holes left on this first round, and right now we have Ricky at 1 under, Calvin plus 1, Chris at even, and Raven making some nice putts. He's at 2 under, and that puts them all right in the mix. You can see 4 under is the best total score on that front 9, with a lot of people kind of right there at 2 to 4.
It's pretty hard to imagine that 2 under is tied for third place through 9 holes, but these conditions are very difficult. A ton of wind out here. Hole 10, par 3, 377 feet, but I believe I measured this at 60 feet in elevation rise. I mean, it's essentially throw it as hard as you can, and that's even for the longest throwers. I mean, it's kind of a badge of honor if you can even possibly outdrive this hole.
Oh, yeah.
It's a huge badge of honor, I should say.
Raven's got a nice little arm on him. Let's see if he can. That's good height. I like the height.
Ton of distance. I mean, essentially full flight, and you're 60 short. I mean, That's right there a great example. That thing came out fast, full flight, and it's just short.
Now, these guys have a different level, of course. The rest of the card is going to have plenty of power, but this isn't high enough.
Mm-hmm. I don't hate the low if you can get that on line with the basket for Calvin's arm speed, but certainly, I mean, you're going to need to get it a little bit higher if you want to get all the way to the pin.
Hyzer flip from Chris. Should be right in that Raven zone.
Wow. I mean, skipping past, that just really shows how elite Chris Dickerson's distance really is.
I think Ricky's might try the high route because he has that next kind of level. He does go high.
Yeah, he's going out and around.
Get over it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, my goodness.
Like I said, that's
incredible.
elite right there. That is so much power. He gets a little love through the trees, too. I mean, at any point he hits any of those, and those things are disc stoppers. Santa doesn't like those discs coming in his trees.
No, he doesn't.
No playing around the Christmas tree, kids.
Calvin with an awkward little approach. That is not a par putt anyone wants. Uphill, there's going to be a little bit of a headwind, maybe a little bit of a right to left headwind to an elevated basket.
And we thought Chris had a putt. He's lining up this sidearm, see if he's got that Raven touch.
Yes, he does.
That's great.
Yeah, that's not an easy approach to the woods. Speaking of Raven, he's got an open look.
Call it 60 feet.
Call it in. Right side. Getting the height right from that range.
Wow. Look at it just keep going up. Oh, that's awesome. Just perfect.
Nose angle control and puts the power behind it. And the smile. That's 3 outside the circle putts in a row for Raven now, going back to 8 and 9.
You can tell he's really I mean, it's easy to enjoy disc golf when you're just smacking them from circle 2 all day.
I mean, he's 3 under right now. That's like, he's essentially in, depending on what the other guys are doing, he's
top 5 for sure.
Yeah. Oh, he's probably in 2nd or 3rd place by himself. A good par save for Calvin and Chris and Ricky with that beautiful drive. Very short putt, but not necessarily a tap-in with that little wall there. We've seen so many people glued up against that wall with no look from 3 or 4 feet. It's a very awkward little green area.
Yeah, going with like turbos or Scooby-Doos and all kinds of different things, man. Hole 11, par 4, 804 feet. There is a landing zone short of this, but these guys are going to all try to kind of get it up in those guardian trees right there. Right to left crosswind. And then you have to throw through this tight gap. The farther you are, harder obviously it is to hit this gap. So
was it a right to left for you?
It was for me, yeah.
Oh gosh, it was just almost a straight headwind for us. I mean,
you
left to right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's blowing, folks. It seems like the wind is maybe a bit down? It seems like it's a bit down right now because in different parts of the day, this section is just, these flags are ripping. So it's a good time to come through hole 11, the highest point on the course with the most wind exposure.
Raven landed in a good spot there, not surrounded by the Christmas trees.
This is heading...
Too much, right?
Oh, I thought it was heading left. It is, but it's heading left late. Pretty straight disc, actually, for Ricky.
All depends on where that lands in between all those pine trees.
Now, what does this do at late stability? It looks like it's hyzering back. Okay, that's good.
Just
don't be behind. Yeah, that can be okay if he's about 10 feet off of it, but if he's behind it directly, it's going to be problematic.
Don't flip.
Yeah, Chris has played this nice with the big width. And similar spot to Calvin, perhaps, maybe a bit shorter. A forced flex. This is probably in the 350 range.
Oh, this looks great.
And with good ground play comes good things, and with bad ground play comes rollaways. That was looking really nice, but there are so many roots and rocks and stones and sticks on this green that anything can really happen. And unfortunately, Chris got the bad end of that stick. Or should I say the short end? And that would have been better.
Don't think that worked out for Ricky. Looked like a little too much. Anheuser pushed it into those pine trees. He definitely was hemmed up in there, though.
Raven, good force on the Anheuser flex and coming up in a pretty decent zone if you're Raven Newsom right now.
Another sidearm flex. So,
wow.
Not
one of the weirdest shanks we've seen from that man in quite some time.
Now, forehand isn't his specialty, so.
Yeah, but he's serviceable.
Yeah, serviceable.
I mean, I would say even better than serviceable. When he goes with it, he's pretty good with it, but that was not his typical angle. You don't see him go with a chop Anheisers very often.
He likes the hyzer flip.
Ricky's not going to be happy with that attempt. He's looking at a bogey here unless he comes up big. And Calvin's struggles continue here a bit. Still up.
Okay. Yep, we'll call that one in.
100% guarantee Chris is trying to make this.
Pretty good. Pretty good effort.
Mm-hmm.
Where did Ricky end up? Okay, up left.
That would have been a really nice save, but unfortunately, Ricky will be dropping a shot here. Meanwhile, Raven Newsom is trying to go for his fourth consecutive C2 putt.
Has it been 4 in a row?
Not yet.
Oh, you're saying
now it is, and
you're saying that's number 4 in a row.
That's 4 in a row for Raven.
What?
And he pulls out the Raven hood once again with the bow and arrow. Nice catch in the basket. I mean, he's choosing MVP discs on an orange MVP discs on an orange MVP basket. He's doing good things right now at his sponsor's main event. 4 under now for Raven.
I just can't believe that's 4 in a row.
And a question made me think about this when I was kind of peeping in on live coverage, and they were talking about this, is can you remember a time in your career when you've made 4 outside circle 1 putts in a row? It's a pretty impressive feat.
Very.
All for birdie, though.
Yeah.
Because we got some people around the world that have done that for pars and bogeys, me included. But all for birdie's great little run Raven is on right now, and he's pulling the arrow out of the quiver.
I mean, 5 birdies period on this course is fantastic.
No doubt.
Much less 4 in a row, 4 circled 2 putts, and he's just throwing arrows at it.
Hole 12 is moved back only 50 to 60 feet, and my goodness, it makes a significant difference in this tee shot. It's going to be a little bit lower ceiling. It's going to be more of a flex over to the right side of the Christmas trees to get back to that sweet spot, which is at the top of the hill. But it is a very demanding shot now. Getting to that prime position is no easy feat, and it requires a ton of distance.
Yeah, and every year those Christmas trees on the right grow taller and taller. Definitely makes it more difficult.
You can see that gravel pile there. That's where we were throwing from last year, and it doesn't look like it's that much of a difference. But I tell you, it plays...
Talk about some love right there. Getting out of those trees just saved him a shot, for sure. This looks good, but you don't want it to hyzer out.
It's gonna hyzer out.
Oh, boy.
There are some paths on that left side, I'll say, but there's not many good paths.
Lots of scrambling. Just lots of tiny little hope.
This is very low for Ricky. He's got the speed to clear it, but he needed a little more help from Santa's helpers. He's going to be stuck in the pine trees, and that can get problematic.
This is more of the height you want, but too much anhyzer.
It's going to be past the trees, and it's from that spot, it's so tough because you have to get over the hill and then down the hill. So you have to throw up a bit and then get it tracking down, and that's not an easy feat to do.
Yeah, you see all the players kind of trying to figure out where to go. They're all over the place. I feel like this would be a perfect little example of every card who plays this hole. There's not a lot of people who are just going to be dialed in one position.
Well, Ricky, fortunate to be able to do a lean out forehand, and this is looking to be pretty decent. It's going to come up short right.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, honestly, from in the Christmas trees, getting a downhill putt look pretty good.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, you got to put angle anhyzer if you wanted to get this thing to continue tracking down the hill. And look at that, folks. Raven's got a shot to get his 5th consecutive from C2. A really nice approach from that angle.
I feel like if you get 5 in a row, you have to drop the Albert Tom.
You get to be the bazooka for a day?
Yeah, that's a bazooka.
Yeah, I kind of feel a little weird. Like, does Raven get to do the quiver, or does Albert have like a copyright in all of the little celebrations like that? Look at that shot.
That was
Chris
scrambly.
He has all of that.
Yeah, he does. I don't know how close that got, but it looked like it was thin going down there. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, he's still far away.
Yeah, but I think that anything that was forward from where Chris was.
Good tree.
Yeah, it's probably outside the circle.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's quite a bit outside the circle. It's going to be a long putt back for the par.
That looked like a layup, but it definitely wasn't.
You don't think?
Well, just the way that it might have been. I mean, he got it past the koozie.
Mm-hmm. Now Raven. Oh, that had some height. Good thing the pole was there. Otherwise, I think he's finding himself near where Chris is.
Yeah. Not scared.
Yeah, and now Chris is going to be coming back for the bogey. But first, Calvin for par.
Calvin has a weird way of just like, looks like he's playing the worst round of his life. He's 2 over, and then he just birdies out. I'm expecting him to get a good little momentum shift here soon.
He's always got a run in him. You know, that's one thing about Calvin. It is crazy how nonchalant he is. I mean, that's just kind of his attitude in life. He's very just straight across the board, one personality, and that works out for you in disc golf. I mean, he definitely finds that heat at some point in every event. But like you said, it doesn't look like he's doing anything right now. But 2 over, the way this course is playing, the way the field is playing the course,
not too bad.
It's not too bad, really.
Really tough hole. Hole 13, par 3, 472. Crazy swirly winds. I mean, this is almost, I would say, a little bit lucky. You got to get a little bit lucky. You want to hit the initial gap, and then after that, whatever happens, happens, and you just got to deal with it. A lot of scrambling goes on here. Some park jobs. Birdie on this one goes a long ways in your round, though.
Oh, for sure. It's like right there in front of you, but you can't see in there right now. This time of day, it's always so bright. I mean, to be honest, it's a beautiful day with the weather minus the wind and the chilly part. But this place is always so pretty, and you just can't see into that darkness.
Ricky going with a driver.
Wow, that was inches from an ace run, I bet.
Don't know where that ended up stopping, but it looked like it went way right.
Calvin going mid-range rock 3, and this is turning over, and very important that this gets through that initial gap. And if it, oh wow, great kick. You can be hemmed up behind that wall on the right side and have no look to save the par.
I like this.
Just is continuously holding that line, and that will be down there, but not really with any open looks for the birdie.
Oh, this is a little stabby look there. I don't know if it's sad or not. Should be fine. I think he's a little angry that he doesn't have a better look from there. Raven just laying that one up.
Yeah, not really much from that left side. Calvin, honestly, a pretty fortunate look for birdie right now.
Okay, I'm curious to see where Chris ended up if he does have like a little stab over there to the right side. There can be some. Oh, geez.
I mean, it's crazy to see how windy it is here, and you can see that open lake area that's going to come into play on the next hole. But when you have thick foliage like you have right here, to have that much wind coming through still really shows you how blustery it is out there.
I mean, these little putts right here are not easy with how swirly it is. Just from that distance, a little stressful because you can get a little lull, you can get a little spike in the wind, and that'll lift you. So you're always kind of just uncomfortable.
I want to give a quick shout out to one Anthony Barella for making a 111-foot putt here. Go back 2 holes before this, 116-footer. Boy, howdy. Hole 14, folks. One of the most picturesque holes in the sport. Such a small landing zone, as you can see here. That right side is, wow. If you can hit that and land there, props to you. Most players are thinking 3 is phenomenal. 440 feet, downhill quite a bit. But it's about managing the wind, managing the stability of the disc, and just finding inbounds.
Oh, boy, this is wide.
And there is possible ways to get in bounds back there, but Raven did not find one of those possibilities, and he will be proceeding to the FPO tee for his drop zone shot. One of the scariest things you can do on this hole.
This needs to hit some trees. Very
good.
good.
Great kick back. Ricky's going to have a look.
Yeah, that even gives him a little something if he wants to get frisky. He's a frisky type of guy.
Oh, he's not laying that putt up. I can't imagine. Can he lay that putt up? You think he will?
Well, it depends on how frisky. Nice lift here. Very good.
Very stable Draco. And once again, Calvin just headhunting in the audience. I don't know what it is about this guy, but no, I'm kidding. The crowd is very close behind the basket, but
right there by the drop zone. So if you miss it from the first drop zone, you then go to that position where Calvin just threw it.
You can take a triple or quadruple bogey on this hole in like just the quickest amount of time, and you won't even know it happened.
There's some love.
Because Raven right now is going to the 290-foot tee, and it's all OB right. How close do you want to play this to the pin, especially with this wind blowing? Goes low and straight. This is looking pretty good.
That's a crazy little shot from him. What a shot. But
Well, that's a really
I'm
good shot.
flustered. I'm flustered with him doing that to himself.
Yeah, that was a really good shot.
I don't know how old he is, but he's got some grays after that came out of his hand. Promise you that.
Most likely we will be saving the bogey. Ricky giving it a good run. Once again, changing up his nose angle.
Not as frisky as we've seen him in the past, but final round, you know where that thing's going?
It's going a heat-seated missile to wherever it lands.
Yep. Really tough to kind of give it the full go here, no matter what distance you are. Unless you're inside like 20.
You get like that. The thing that's nice about this one, if you do run it, you can give it a nose down run knowing that wall is there to kind of protect you. But there's definitely going to be some putters in that lake right now.
Mm-hmm.
And those putters might not be coming back.
Oh, man, I was watching some FPO coverage, and I saw Paige over there to the left side, and she just bulleted it. I mean,
made it?
Oh, yeah. Just, if she would have missed, she would have been safe on the other side of the break. I mean, it was just so good.
I feel like that's like reclaiming. You know, when you take nerves, sometimes just saying, this basket should be nervous about what I'm about to do to it. You know, I feel like that's how Paige gets sometimes with her putts. It's just really leaving it all out there. On to hole 15, Paul. Straightest shot on the course.
Yeah, 322. You also have a little flex route that I did see Calvin taking our practice round, so let's see if he does that. But this is just a tough one. I mean, you throw your straightest shot, and you'll get a birdie.
I mean, it's tough for being the easiest hole in the course.
This is the easiest hole?
It is the easiest hole in the course, and it's,
Said no one ever played it.
Well,
those are just stats. That's not real.
Okay, well, Ricky might not agree with you, but most players might.
Yeah, this could be the hardest hole in the world, and Ricky would do the same thing, so I'm not believing it. Let's see how the rest of the card does it.
All right, Calvin tends to agree with you, and you just can't go down in that ditch. Where Calvin's at is going to be a very difficult scramble situation.
Yes. He didn't go with the flex shot, too. Very surprising. Oh, this is just, okay.
Just got to miss that last one. Actually goes left of it.
Anything bad.
Yeah, good stuff. Just want to beat those last two there on the right side. If you can get on either side of those two trees, most players will be home for the birdie at that point.
Raven gets it turned over, but you can get a little love over there for sure.
Yeah, that's C2, a place where he's been very comfortable today.
See what kind of scrambling skills Calvin has. Because you're right, man. This is where, if you miss the initial gap, this is what happens.
Yep, and hitting a tree.
Okay, though.
Really probably the best tree direction you can ever imagine from there.
I think he's got a putt. Raven. It's been high a little bit.
Wait, what? That's in the basket?
This little sneaker.
Wait, hold on.
That
hits the pole.
Did it go through the basket?
I have never seen this before, Paul.
Oh.
I have been playing disc golf for 16 years, and I have never seen a disc hit the top, slide over and down and in, and I've tried so many times to miss my putts and make them go in that way.
You worked Dickerson.
What just happened?
Wait, I'm trying to think, it's not even windy. That's the thing. I've seen it happen when the wind blows it in.
It's not the same thing. That's a different situation. Calvin, great par save. Yeah, sure. I've seen that there's a Dave Feldberg putt where he skipped off the top and the headwind blew it back in.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was even possible.
It's these baskets, man. See how it's wider at the bottom.
It's wider at the bottom at every single basket.
Not like that.
That was crazy. Ricky with the birdie.
I'm just trying to figure
Newsom
it out.
just invented a new birdie.
Quit yelling at me, man.
I'm sorry. I'll stop.
Confused here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, you can go. You yell at me some more.
Hole 16.
Needed a second.
We'll give Paul a chance to recoup his thoughts as we fly over.
This changes everything.
476 feet, par 3, and maybe the width of like 2 umbrellas at the widest point, or at the tightest point, I should say.
It looks bigger from this angle. Don't believe anything that picture just
that
showed
made it
you.
look like it's just a wide open gap, but this kind of shows you a little bit more of the feeling that we're getting on the tee.
I like this angle.
Ricky gets through everything and connects on the grip 6 wall. He's got a putt from 34 feet.
Deal.
Take that.
Every day, forever.
Mm-hmm.
Raven is going to throw it sideways around the world. Go in with a trick shot here.
And there's the sideways around the world part. And it doesn't go in.
It could be tough from over there. All jokes aside, right side does have some gaps. Gonna have to see what he got done there.
Does this make it all the way through? It does. If there is an eagle shot in the world,
We've been saying this every tournament. If it's straight, I don't care the distance.
Yeah.
Calvin,
subbing them in. If there's like a alien, I'm not gonna. I had a story. I'm not gonna even do it. One of those all right.
Yeah.
One of those doomsday scenarios where there's like an evil alien says, birdie this hole or I'm going to zap your planet and everyone dies and blah, blah, blah. Who's your person? Who's your conqueror? Who's your champion? Calvin.
I'm picking Raven at this point. he airballs it and makes it.
Well, he's going to need to make that putt for par. He's at the edge of the circle and he's putted so well today. My goodness, 5 from C2.
This is a tricky little spot. Get past it, dude. 1 to beat. He's had a few of those today, like 1 to beats.
Chris Dickerson, I mean, obviously he's one of those players that just gets on these heater trains. 1 over for the day and this putt for par. And it will be 2 over as he works his way over to hole 17.
Low on these baskets, you gotta be center.
And left side, left side's not going to stay. Raven's putt is true. He knew it out of his hand.
Another outside circle too.
Was that?
Yeah, it was.
Did they give that to him on UDISC? They're saying
I just saw the little feather, dude.
They're calling it 27 feet. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Well, look at Calvin's almost outside the circle.
Mm-hmm. Well, outside the circle or inside the circle, they're going to credit it as an inside the circle make and credit that as an inside the circle miss for Calvin, who misses the bonus birdie opportunity. Remains at 2 over.
I knew a win is great, but it's like we always say in putting in the vlogs and stuff, twice or it's luck. So now I did it twice, not luck.
Hole 17, a slightly lengthened from a couple years ago, but we've had the same tee pad for the last 2 years. I think we've lost some Christmas trees, though. The landing zone is a little bit more open now. This makes this the 4th easiest hole on the course. Got to get a shot turning a little bit right to set yourself up for this. I mean, it's going to be blind for everyone, no matter how good their drive is. Over this hill, right behind the basket, there is a little bit of an extra downslope that can bring 3-putt potential into play.
And there is out of bounds left that comes into play big time because the wind gets all crazy here. And so when you put it on these different angles, a little shift of the wind, and then all of a sudden you're out of bounds left.
That was a great looking drive for Ricky, catching the top of the tallest tree right at the end of its flight.
Raven, this is just really good, and that's going to be just fine.
Yeah,
but
you're right next to Rick's, I think.
I like the angle on that one. You want to get it right and just deal with what happens. Oh,
Calvin super high, and the smackdown, that will be some scrambling work coming up.
Yes. Chris likes throwing Anheuser with this one. This is a pretty beat up force. Okay.
And that will be off to the right side. That should be a manageable angle.
Anything in front of the pines, it doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't even really matter because you're giving yourself about 250 feet. You should be able to figure it out.
Yeah, this overhead shot last year looked so different with those trees. Yeah. There were so many places you did not want to be. Now you just have to make that corner, miss that initial gap, and you'll have a look. And Calvin's getting very aggressive with this angle.
Needs to sit.
All right. I'm wondering if that's a more aggressive idea in his head, or is he really just trying to lay up to the top of the hill? I'm not quite sure.
I think he's trying to get that to pan out down the hill for sure.
Ricky with a decent shot. That should be about pin high right.
It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, from that angle back there, it's no gimme.
Ooh, that was a little stutter stop and a go-go.
Obstructed putt coming up. 30?
He likes those trick putts.
And Chris just air bouncing up into the corner tree. Another opportunity for the birdie lost.
Par. Here's a layup for the same outcome. Yep.
Got to be careful there. Ground play seems to stand a lot of putters up and rolls down the hill, but I think Chris has done what he needed to. What is going on with this man's putter? He is at 5 under now.
Is that another outside circle?
I think it was just inside again, but I mean, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's playing like a 40-footer. Look at this.
Just on this 9 holes alone, incredible putting. But right before this 9 started, he back-to-back outside C1s, and the putt he made on 9 may be the best putt he's hit all round.
Yeah.
And Ricky coming up short. Another missed putt. I mean, look at this. Raven Newsom's 5 under.
Yeah. I mean, he's got Calvin by 7. He's got Chris by 7. Ricky by 3 on a course where Ricky's never been outside the top 10.
Never. And I mean, 2 under right now it's inside the top 10.
Yes.
But it is that kind of tells you right there the separation. I mean,
Ricky also just won the Green Mountain Championship.
Yeah, I mean,
so you're
and leading the Pro Tour in points.
You're beating the best player, essentially the hottest player on tour right now by 3. But you see his putting. Like I said, he airballed and he made it. Come on. What are you going to do? Hole 18, par 4, 640 feet. This is the 5th most difficult hole on the course. I can't believe it's more. I think it's because the field's a little bit smarter this year and they're laying up.
Yeah. Yep.
So you have a really, really tough drive here. You want to throw it from left to right over this little ridge.
I think in some ways, because of the conditions being as difficult as they are, as Raven just somehow gets through everything, it's basically like hitting the top of a pole and sliding into the basket from the top. That drive.
Yeah.
It's like the drive version of that. But I think because the conditions are so difficult, oh, goodness, Ricky hitting the rock and getting 300 feet after that somehow. I think it makes the whole... Okay, we're going to see a replay on this.
This is crazy, though. This is crazy. Doesn't it hit?
Oh,
he hit the rail.
The railing. Oh, that's
a good break.
That's a really good break.
That was 18 feet off the tee pad.
I will finish my point at some point. Oh, Calvin just drifting this one perfect. Oh, that's a humongous drive.
That's big.
That's as good as it gets. Because it's so difficult on the course, I think it makes the whole play easier because people, I don't even have a chance to go for the green because it's so windy. When it's calmer, people get more ambitious and they start making dumber decisions.
Look at Chris just throwing sidearm.
Yeah,
but that's a
layup zone.
Yeah,
it's too far from the pin, too much willow.
Does anybody go for it? Calvin does. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think Raven's angle is just not great. It's
Especially with the right to left.
and you're playing well. I mean, I don't know if he's looking at scores, if he knows how well he's playing. And I think you just don't risk it at that point. Why do you need to?
He's really great shot from there.
He'll be happy with the par after hitting the railing. And he hit the steps.
Yeah. Yep. Chris, cap wraps are meant for going for it, dude. I'm just kidding. Great layup. And there's nothing from back there.
And he didn't try to get closer to the pin. He just gave himself the best angle.
Yep.
It's a heads up play. When do you think we've ever seen, as Ravens laid up in a perfect spot? I mean,
Almost
he might
too
even have a
far.
chance to go
Make
for it.
that.
When do you think the last time that we saw 9 holes with Calvin and Chris Dickerson on the same card, 0 birdies, and collectively, currently 3 over?
Well, that birdie's going to stop.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a birdie.
Oh, yeah, that's his drive. That's right. My gosh, he crushed that. It was so far that I thought it must have been an approach, and I missed it. That's right.
This is a tricky little approach. Very good.
So Chris will have 9 holes with no birdies, but Calvin will finish with a nice one here on hole 18.
Oh, this is juiced, kind of.
Yeah.
Good little kick off the wall. So easy to go deep out of bounds right there on that approach because it just kind of pushes, doesn't give you the height you need. So,
And Raven, is he giving this a run? Yeah. Probably a little nerve-wracking with the crowd there and the way he's played all around. His girlfriend Sarah Dodge of the Steve Dodge
yeah.
clan, Todd Dodge's daughter, caddy and girlfriend of Raven. She's there. Also, our engagement pics photographer. A little shout out to Sarah Dodge.
Nice.
Yeah. Very nice human being. What a round.
Those picks were nice.
Thank you. What a round for Raven.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Can't wait to see how it sizes up with the rest of the field. Even though I know this is awkward.
And Ricky will finish with a par. He stays under par at 2 under. I mean, on a day like this, you can imagine that just scrapping anything under par at Maple Hill feels good. Take a look at these results. And there it is. There's a 1 next to Raven's name.
Wow, look at that. Who would have known?
Good guess. Corey Ellis, Linus Carlson, Paul Macbeth will make our league card, but man, the league card has a 3 under score on it. This is, I believe, the second closest to even par hot round we've had all season.
That has to be what your final round at the GBO.
Third round, DDO.
DDO,
Yeah,
sorry.
3 under. That was the closest
DDO,
to par
sorry.
hot round we've had all season, but 5 under
That's crazy.
in solo first place for Raven. Very impressive, great putts. If he can continue making putts like that, his best finish at this tournament is not going to be 25th anymore. It's going to be a lot higher.
Yes, absolutely. But there's a lot of people really close, so I can't wait for tomorrow. It's going to be pretty similar conditions from what I saw in the forecast.
Really windy.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm just hearing that for the first time. That's exciting.
Ow.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Round 1 is in the books here in Leicester, Massachusetts. Raven Newsom, MVP player at the MVP Open. Seems like the natural order of things. We'll see how round 2 goes coming up tomorrow.